welcome everyone to the Canarian International Meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. My name is Mossy and I am an alcoholic.
My name is Kathleen and I'm also an alcoholic, and I suppose I'm also secretary here.
Both serving as secretary, and join me for a moment's silence to remember the still suffering alcoholic, both inside and outside this meeting. And the preamble, will you share this preamble, Bruce, for me, please? There you go. And Bob will read the preamble for us today.
Thanks, Mossy. My name's Bob. I'm a grateful alcoholic, and this is the AA preamble, which tells us who we are and what we do. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength, and hope with each other, and may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is an honest desire to stop drinking. AA has no dues or fees. It is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organization, or institution. It does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics achieve sobriety. Thanks for letting me read.
Thank you, Bob. Now, as some of you know, some of you don't know, on Wednesday, Mick the Ferret celebrated 50 years sobriety. And then we have no chairman or chairperson today to share with us. What we're going to do is we're going to interview Mick and put him on the spot altogether. So if you have any questions, ask him, build them up there. I'll kick this off.
You. I nearly swore then. I was going to call you things.
Well, Mick, we'll put you on the hot seat today. I just want to say, Mick, I love you, man. You've been a great help to me. I'm going to get sick, I think. You've been a great help to me. And you've healed a lot of wounds that I was brought up with. Being an Irishman, I was brought up with a chip on my shoulder. And you've healed a lot of them wounds for me. And we have a friendship beyond this fellowship, Mick. And I don't know how I managed to click with you because, you know, you have my back broken since the day I met you, carrying you around the place. But this isn't about me. This is about you, Mick. If you could, after 50 years, Mick, of coming into these rooms, why do you keep coming back to us every day?
Because I want to stay sober. I had a brother who was an alcoholic, and he said AA is not for me, and he left AA. He was a year sober. I think I just said that, and he left the fellowship and went back drinking, and he died as through failure of all his organs. His legacies he's left me is I'm not going to leave AA. And that's why I do so many meetings.
Yeah, well, I can identify with that, Mick. I have my own brother passed away this year, and things could have been so much different. And, you know, the only difference between me and my brother was I made a commitment to Mossy that I get a minimum of 3 meetings a week. There's also another thing they say, you know, men should sponsor men and women should sponsor women. But you started off with a woman sponsor, didn't you?
I did, and I'd still sponsor women because I'm in here for me, not for romancing or financing. You know, I can see no difference in a woman's sponsoring a woman than a man, because I'm not in AA for anything like that.
Yeah, and I can identify with that. I still have sponsoring 3 women at the moment. One of them I've sponsored for 23 years.
And all the old timers that I know sponsored women as well.
Yeah. Yeah. You've been able to stay sober through any and all conditions, Mick.
I have. I had the love of my life who died. And, and I didn't need to take a drink because I went to meetings and I shared exactly how I felt. And you supported me. You cared about me. It's like some people were sharing the other day about, getting through Christmas and having a bad time. See, we all get bad times, but we don't need to take a drink. Want to take a drink, maybe, but don't need to, because this fellowship is such that they are family and we care.
Thanks, Mick. You know, this is my family as well, Mick.
Yes.
Because of addiction has run rampant through our family. And this is where I found, this is where I've grown up, you know. I'm not going to have the meeting because I think Kathleen wants to ask a couple of questions. Yeah, Kathleen?
She wants to know why I'm so good looking.
He's putting me on the spot as well here, so he is. He's just throwing this at everybody. My name is Kathleen and I'm an alcoholic.
Kathleen.
Do you find you still have triggers in your recovery?
I get so not so much triggers, but I get lows sometimes, and I think of escapism, not through alcohol, but through other things. You know, I'm a great country person, and I love being in the country. While I'm in the countryside, I'm at peace. But it doesn't matter. I don't believe it matters how long we've been around because we got this ease with us. And as soon as we get low, it's gnawing in your ear. Did that answer it?
Yeah. Helen actually had her hand up there.
Helen.
Yeah.
There you go, Helen.
Yeah, Mick, you just stole my question to you, if you're the most handsome guy in this meeting. But no, I do have another question for you because I was wondering, and it's sort of maybe, continues on the question that Kathleen just put up. What was there a moment when you were in sobriety that you felt like, I don't know if I can do this, if I can overcome this event or this thing happening in my life? I feel so desperate again. And how did you get away from that feeling, if you had one?
I didn't think I'd ever do 50 years. It's just today being honest with yourself and putting your sobriety first. I put my sobriety before when my wife was, before my wife, before my children, before work, before anything. Because if I'm not sober, I haven't got anything.
And sorry, can I ask another question? I mean, how long did it take you to get there, to really feel that? Like, this
50
is
years.
50. So that wasn't like something after 5 years you felt like, okay, I'm getting really comfortable with this. I suppose you did.
Well, it's like anything, it's repetitive. If you keep doing the same things every day towards recovery, you're growing. Even when you have such a bad time during the day, if you haven't had a drink at the end of the day, or the next day you look back, you learn from it. Mistakes you learn from. As long as you don't take a drink, nothing worse can happen to me than me taking a drink.
Thank you. Thanks, Mick.
Thanks, Mick. And one of the things that was said to me as well is that a smart man learns from his mistakes, and a wise man learns from the mistakes of others. I was told to watch people.
Yeah.
Francis, You're next up there, love.
Hello, Mick.
Hello, Liz.
I was wondering about how do you I'm learning in sobriety about boundaries and saying no to people and that kind of thing, you know, and looking after myself and everything like that. And I find that quite difficult. Yeah, I just wondered if you had any thoughts on that subject.
I was always a yes person, but when I feel uncomfortable with the what I do, I learn to stop doing them. You know, I get brave enough to say, sorry, I can't do that. Sorry, no, you can't. You know, things like that. And I want to try and practice saying, you know. But no, as we get stronger in the fellowships, we learn to say no. Or, you know, I'm not a people pleaser anymore. If you upset me, you know about it. But I don't get upset easily.
Yeah. One more question.
Yeah.
In the day-to-day world with non-alcoholics, I've started a degree course, and I don't feel like such a weirdo in the rooms and things, but when I'm getting into the real world with non-alcoholic people, I can find my behavior is quite erratic. And I just wondered if you had any tips for being around non-alcoholics.
Is it because you worry what they think about you?
I think it's because I'm just mad. Like, I realize how mad I am when I'm around them. Do you know what I mean? When I'm in an AA meeting and with my fellows, it's like it doesn't really seem to bother people. Like if I'm upset or if I'm anxious or if I'm really loud or if I'm, you know, joking and dancing around. But then sometimes I get like that, and then I realize that it's not. It's kind of people are a little bit concerned, you know, and I'm like, oh gosh, okay, I should probably rein it in a bit, you know.
If you're enjoying yourself and anything like that, I just do it. I still can, you know, they're different people than we are. Yeah, you know, they don't need. See, we needed a drink and that to make us dance or give us the Dutch courage to do. I did. I'm talking about me to do things. But today I don't dance because I'm tone deaf. But what I do is I muck about. I'm one of the biggest fools there is fooling about because I enjoy what I do today. I ain't worried about other people, whatever anyone else thinks of me.
Right. Yeah. I guess I'm just so much more aware of myself in the room. I'm kind of like feel like, whoa, I've just, you know, when I walk, I could feel like the side. I feel like, you know, whoa, I'm a real presence here. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So I guess I just have to accept it. That's me.
That's exactly right. Be you. Just be you, not for someone else, but just be you for yourself and enjoy it. And enjoy it. We spent too much time in sickness and not to enjoy life today.
Thank you. That's really lovely. Thank you. That's really helpful.
I do see that there's hands up, but keep your hands up because we will get to you. But we're going to move around as well. And Robin, I'm going to unmute you. Have you got a question for Mick?
Okay, thanks, Kathleen. Hiya, guys. I'm Robin. I'm an alcoholic. Mick, many congratulations on 50 years. Phenomenal achievement. Phenomenal. And thank you for all you do. I've heard you said, Mick, that steps 10, 11, and 12 are the maintenance steps. Yeah. What are your thoughts on journaling step 10 at the end of each day?
On 10, I do it every day.
Right.
I do it every day, 10 and 11 and 12.
Do you, at the end of the day, before you sort of retire at night, do you write down a list of?
No, I use my head. I'm not going to say illiterate, but I'm not very clever at writing things down and that because I'm dyslexic. But what I do it all in my head. I look back at my day. I thank God for it, even if it's a bad day, what I would class as a bad day, you know, and I look back at it and I thank God for that day because I will learn from it by rethinking.
That's brilliant. No, that's really, really, really helpful, Mick, to review your day at the end of the day.
Thank you. Yeah,
brilliant. Thank you so much, Mick.
Thanks, Robin. And next up, we have Kathy. Good evening, Kathy.
Good evening, everybody. Yeah, Mick, congratulations on your 50 years. It's
Thank you.
phenomenal. I am an overthinker and a people pleaser, and that has led me into a lot of trouble, especially the last couple of days. I've hurt family. I have learned, I know I need to put my sobriety first. How have you coped with that?
What, putting it first?
Putting your sobriety without hurting people. It's just, my mum raged in this morning before I went on, and she said, why can't you talk to us? You can talk to people in AA, but you can't talk to us. And I found that really hard to answer. I said, because you don't understand this illness. So, yeah, I'm guessing my question is, how do I stop people pleasing and put myself first without hurting other people?
Because what I do is, like maybe I did hurt people first to start with, and maybe I've overthought that. I don't know what anyone thinks, but my mind will say to me, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're going to say. I know what you did. And I have to shut up, tell myself, shut up. You don't know how other people are. I'm trying to think of because see, Sylvie was in Al-Anon and she was pleased to see me sober. She was pleased that because she went through hell with me. And she was pleased. My mother, when I went and made amends to her, she turned round and said, Mick, if you stay in your club, I'll be the happiest person in the world. And, all you've got to be is honest and strong. That's all, because if your mum or whoever it is controlling you by saying, oh, you'd rather go off and talk to them, but you won't tell me what's wrong with you. Because you can tell us, because we've been there. These people outside AA do not understand why we drink and can't just stop.
Yeah. That's what I kind of tried to explain to her. So, yeah.
If you don't understand, just say, how do you prefer me, drunk or sober?
Yeah, no, that's, I did try and explain I need to be with people that get how I'm feeling. So, yeah, we did have a chat afterwards and I think we're kind of sorted, but yeah. But no, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Sue.
Hi, thanks, Kathleen. Hi, everyone. Sue, alcoholic. Mick, congratulations on your 50 years. I could listen to you talking all day. I really could. And questions, I don't know. I could ask you a million questions. And some of the things I was going to ask you, the girls have touched on, the one that have asked questions. And a lot of it is to do with how other people perceive AA. And I just wondered, like, after 50 years, how would you explain AA to a newcomer?
Let's think of this. See, I'm going to use this is what happened to me. Talking to a guy, a guy challenged me in the brewery when I was at work. He said to me, "I can outdrink you." I'm in sober years then. I could have outdrank you, and I said to him, "I said, I expect you could, but what about tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day?" And he said, "Why?" I said, "Because once I take a drink, I cannot stop."
Yeah.
See, I don't give a toss what anyone outside thinks about me because I now know who I am and I never knew who I was before, you
Yeah.
know. And if they say to me, "Why do you still go to AA?" I tell them because I want to be sober, you know, and happy and joyous today.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. It's funny, like, you know, when someone says like, "Why do you keep going to your meetings?" And I've not had any negativity about that. They're just interested in it.
Yeah.
And I just say it's because that's where I need to be. It's where I need to be in my meetings with people that get me. And it's where the program works its best and where I'm reminded of what I need to do in my program. You know, but I remember when I first came in nearly 3 years ago, I didn't have a clue how it was going to work for me. And now I could talk to someone all day about AA and how much I love it and the fellowship and the friends I've made. But at the beginning, I did not have a clue. I didn't have a clue. So I just generally say to people, I keep coming to my meetings because it's what I need and it's where I belong.
I also say to them, "Would you like to come out to an open meeting and see how it works?"
Exactly.
Because I done a chair on last Wednesday, and it was in a man's meeting, and my daughter wanted to come,
Yeah.
and I asked them if they'd throw it open, and they did, and a lot of people brought their partners and their wives, and one bloke even brought his dad, and
Oh,
they enjoyed it. See, and I said to my son-in-law, "What did you think of AA, the meetings?" He said, "I enjoyed it." You know, he said, because I've seen it on the telly, but it's being there live, it's completely different.
yeah.
He said it's all different.
Good. I've had my sister, and I'll finish now. My sister and my daughter and her husband have been on to some of our meetings in the morning. I think when I did my first main share on the Canaries, they came on. And my hubby, sometimes he has no choice. I put it on while I'm still in bed. And I think it really does help. Yeah, the open meetings are a good idea. Yeah. Thank you, Mick. I'm going to
Thank you.
let you go to other people now.
If you look on in the front of the big book on the first edition,
Yeah.
about 3/4 of the way down on it, it says this program could help all.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thanks, Mick.
Thank you, Sue.
And Sue. And Carol. It's Christmas Carol.
Let's not talk about that, Mossy. I heard that joke the other morning. My name's Carol and I'm an alcoholic. And congratulations, Mick. You know, I'm feeling very blessed because I've met you on a few occasions, and I know that you have an open door policy, and that you really do take care and care for us. I feel cared for by you. So thank you for that. I'm very, very grateful for that. The questions that I have for you are books. Do you do book studies? Have you done book studies? And what are your favorite books? You know, I'm sat here with Daily Reflections, my big book, my Pain to Believe, my As Bill Sees It, 12 and 12, and I could go on. And I've got a very special book, but I shall show you that next week. But yeah, what do you think about the literature and how much we should study?
We should study the big book. When I'm talking to AA people and they're talking back to me, I can tell whether they go to big books study meetings because they will tell you something about the big book and then they will explain it to you. I go to a big book meeting, but I'm not a big book studier because I'm dyslexic. I read between lines. Now, I read the big book over and over because I don't seem to get it in to stay in my mind lately. You know, I'm hoping it's my age, and but every day I read a book called Courage to Change. It's an Al-Anon book. It's just like a 24-hour book, you know, but they talk for more feelings and things like that. And I go by feelings, not words, you know. I learn from my feelings. But that's my daily book. And when I do, I've got just here is my big book. There's fourth edition. And I'll just open it and read a bit, you know, or if I've got a problem, I'll look where my markers are and I'll read about that.
Oh, thank you, Mick. Thank you so much.
Or I'll go to meetings.
I could ask you about meditation too, but I'll let somebody else share, and I have to leave 5 to 7. Thank you.
Thanks, Carol. Bob, you're unmuted.
Thanks, Kathleen. My name's Bob. I'm a grateful alcoholic.
Hi, Bob.
I am slightly insane. Congratulations, Mick, on your 50 years. I'm still 4 years older than you by birthday, but still, that's a separate thing. What I was going to, has the way you take people through the program changed over the 50 years?
Yeah, because it does, because I try to do it exactly the same as my sponsor did, you know, but because most alcoholics I seem to be getting hold of as well use drugs. I use drugs, but I didn't use cocaine and stuff like that. See, there's more different sorts than that. But but I still take them through the big book and talk to them and share with them and, you know, and just guide them. I've never yet, Bob, got anyone sober. That's up to them. That's theirs. If they slip away, what I do is I'll befriend them. I go round as a friend, not as an AA member, but as a friend. If they leave the fellowship, I'll kind of bump into them. We got a young guy called Matt, and he lives up by me, and he went back, and it's in his share, and he bumped into me when he was drinking again. Every time he came home, he lives with his parents. Every time he come home, it didn't matter which way he went. He had 3 different ways to go home, and he bumped into me every time. And that's the man upstairs, because I wasn't putting myself out. I have certain routes I walk with my dog, and they're on the routes he's been on. And I always stop and I always talk to him. If he's drunk or sober, I always spoke to him, asked him how he was, how his parents was, and that. But my way is to, you know, with going through the book and how I go through it. I try to show them and show them me.
Thanks, Mick.
Thanks, Bob. And Maggie, you have the floor.
Hi, I'm Maggie. I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Maggie.
Hi, Jim. Mick, can I ask you a silly question before I ask my proper question, please?
Of course you can.
Silly question. Why are you called Mick the Ferret?
Right.
He
Because
was the hitman for the Cray twins.
Americans think I'm a gangster. Gangster. No, it wasn't through them. I was on a committee and in Alcoholics Anonymous, and there was 3 Micks. And the chairman would call out Mick, and the 3 of us would kind of go to answer. So he knew I kept Ferret, so he turned around and he said, "You are Mick the Ferret from now on." And he died in sobriety, so I keep it as a memory to him.
Right, that's lovely. Thank you. My proper question is, congratulations on your 50 years, obviously. And I just wonder how you think AA and AA meetings have changed over the 50 years of your sobriety, and whether you think any changes that have occurred are for the better or for the worse, and are we heading in the right direction?
We must be heading in the right direction because we're getting more and more groups, more and more people. But yes, it's changed a lot. It's a lot. When I first came in, you weren't allowed to talk about drugs. It was mainly when I first came in, it was drunkalogs only. And then, then they round this. I have to talk about round this way because I don't know what was going on further afield. And then a man opened a group and he called it Living Sober. And so we ended up with an AA group and a Living Sober group, which is an AA group anyway. And then we started having step meetings and stuff like that, big book reading meetings and all that. But, it's changed because it's changed, because people have changed. We've getting younger people in. The youngest I've known of is 15 years old, and she came in with her mother. But I mean, the meetings, what I go to, I try to keep it as I know it. But I've got, no, no, that sounds wrong, don't it? It sounds like I control. I'm not a controller. If there's a group that I don't feel comfortable in, then I move to another group. I choose today. But yes, AA has changed a lot. But so is life. So is how we live our lives. Everything's changed. But as you can see, how many groups we've got, how many, meetings there are now. Yeah, we had no meetings in Henley. We've got about 5 now, and it works.
Okay, that's lovely. Thank you. Thanks, Mick.
I don't know whether you've been to when they used to have. I don't know how long you've been around, Maggie, but they used to have used to smoke in meetings, and you couldn't see across the room.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, couldn't see across the room.
Yeah.
And
I don't think I'll get to my 50 years, put it that way. I don't think I'll live that long. I've been sober 11 years next month, so
well done. Well done.
Thank you. But yeah, I don't think I'll get to 50. I don't think my lungs will, my heart will last me that long. But anyway, I'll go as long as I can.
But I'm going to go along till I die.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Mick.
I hope, anyway.
Thanks, Mick. You were asked there, has AA changed in that? And I know from my own perspective, when I was getting sober, it was if you don't take a drink and you go to a meeting, everything will be all right. And the thing was, it wasn't all right. I needed something else, and I was glad that the big book was thrown at me, that I was told that's where the answer was. But to this day, I go through the big book with some people, other people I don't. I go through it with the NA 12-step working guide. And that's the way I've done it for the last 25 years, since one member from NA asked me to help him. So I think you have to play the board as you see it. Because you have to treat everybody different, because everybody is different.
That's right. Because I know people who don't like Zoom.
Yeah.
And
Zoom doesn't work anyways. I know
Zoom
that for a
people
fact.
don't like live meetings.
Yeah. That's what I was going to bring up, the thing about, I didn't believe this Zoom lark was going to work. And I knew for a fact it wasn't going to work, you know. But this meeting has changed it all around. How did you get onto this meeting, Mick?
How do I get on? I was a man from Reading said, Mick, there's a Zoom meeting on. Try it. This is when COVID came. He said, why didn't you try it? And I came on and I enjoyed it. So I keep coming back.
That wasn't Kevin, was it?
Yeah, it was Kevin, yeah.
Oh, I'll put a hit out on him. He shouldn't have let you into this group at all.
Yeah. And I've come here and I enjoy it. And I tried to get on here. I don't always on Sunday because I go to a live meeting on Sunday. It's an AA emotional meeting. And we talk about emotions. And, you know, but I try to get on this at least every day. And I try to do, when on my free nights, I do live meetings. Because I live by myself, so, you know, I might as well be at meetings. The only person I upset when I go to meetings is my dog. Because I don't take him along. He's not sober yet.
Kathleen?
Philip, you're muted.
Yes, good evening. My name's Philip. I'm an alcoholic.
Hello, Philip.
Good to see you, Mick. Good to hear you. I've got two questions. Do you have a preference for meetings, live meetings, men only or mixed meetings?
I haven't. I go to both. I go to mixed meetings and I also go to men's meetings only. It was a man's meeting on my birthday, and they threw it open. First, you know, I told them that, you know, why. I asked them why. I asked them if they would open it, and they asked me why, and I told them because my daughter wanted to come to the meeting, and Sylvie used to on the anything with an O on my celebration day. She used to come to meetings with me, and my daughter said that she would dress up as a boy and tell them that her gender is male, and that's what I told the group, and I said, when you have your discussion, if there's one person says no, then it's kept closed. And that's what they done. Everybody said yes, because in this area, no one's done 50 years before. And there was, as I said, there was dads there, there was wives, there was mums, there was a mixture of visitors, you know. So that, you know, but I do like live meetings because I like the atmosphere in a meeting.
And do you have a home group?
I do, Beaconsfield.
Okay, yeah. But that's my question. Thank you.
Thanks, Philip. And it's okay, Jackson. Good evening to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm okay, Jackson. I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Jackson.
And Mossy, this is brilliant. We've had a master class in how to stay sober tonight.
I've got the wrong speaker.
No, we have, because, you know, everything you've had to say, Mick, is absolutely spot on. It's certainly been my experience, and my goal is 50. I want to live long enough. I'm getting closer. But you know, I'm just soaking it in, and it's been really good. So I can't remember who says what, but I do remember somebody was struggling with family and talking about the disease and so on, and no is a complete sentence. You know, that that was something my first sponsor told me. No is a complete sentence. You don't have to explain, and you know, and you said pretty much the same thing, you know. we have to be true to ourselves and what works for us and put our sobriety first. And family, you know, I heard this one time and I say it all the time in the holidays. If it's not one thing, it's another. If it's not another, it's your mother. It's just the family situation in the holidays can just get nuts. And we just have to plug into our meetings, you know, plug into our tribe. And you said that over and over. So, you know, and one last thing. You also talked about the support system that is AA. And many years ago, a sponsee of mine was brutally murdered, and she was a active member of Alcoholics Anonymous, and the support that came around her was expected, and it came around her family and all of us who knew and loved her. But she had a lot of family that were not members of Alcoholics Anonymous. And they were swept up into the atmosphere that AA people bring to, they were stunned by it. So many of them said, I've never been to a funeral like this. I've never felt this kind of grief and love and support and caring. The way you even say the Lord's Prayer, it just knocked me over. It was so powerful, you know. And that's what this fellowship is. And Mick, you are a living testimony to it. You are a happy man, and you know, and a sober man. And what a blessing, you know, what a blessing. And I'm just rambling now, but thank you, Mossy. It was a great idea. And thank you, Mick, for sharing how you walk this path. Thank you.
Okay, Jay, but how did I get like this? Through the people of Alcoholics Anonymous guiding me.
Absolutely.
You know, it's something that's so wonderful. You know, I've only learnt from the people of Alcoholics Anonymous, because I've been to drinking funerals where someone's died and there's just family.
Mm.
And when an AA person dies, you almost have to book up to get into it.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Jackson.
Thank you. Okay. Timothy, you're unmuted.
Thank you, Kathleen. Okay. I'm okay. Are you okay?
Yeah.
I'm an alcoholic. My name is Tim. And the reason I say it that way around is that alcohol guided my life, all my life, even before I drank. And my alcoholism has dictated the rest of my life, because I'm now in alcoholism and managing it best I can. So congratulations, Mick, on 50 years.
Thank you.
I was in London for Dartmoor Bill's 50 years, way back in 2001, I think it was. And the first thing he said when he stood up on the stage, he said, 50 years, he said, I can't believe it. Now, what about the next 50? What was he going to do for the next 50? Actually, he died a couple of years after that. And Dartmoor Bill, you probably knew him. And he had some great stuff. It was in the days of the Drunkalog, and he had some fantastic stories from Dartmoor, and how he spent half his life there, really, and eventually got out. And but one of the things when he was being 12-stepped in a phone box, and the fella said, you come into the street, which was in London somewhere, where I think it was Townby Hall. And he said, come into the street and he said to them, well, how will I know you? How will I know you? Oh, he said, no, we'll know you. I can well imagine that you know, you go to see someone and you know them straight away. They're for me, like that's my guy there. And so great getting sober. I suppose the question is that I'd have for you, Mick, is the higher power. Now, that's the one thing that hasn't changed in AA. Still the same God, still the same power, still the same spirit, the spirit of us all. And the question is, did you, when you found that it is a power greater than yourself, did you hold back in talking about it, or trying to tell other people about a power?
Yeah,
did you hold
I
back
did.
in that?
Yeah, I did at first. I did at first because I suppose it's ego kind of. I thought it is better to let them think I was in charge of my sobriety. But I've had so many coincidences in life that aren't anything to do with me. Nothing to do with me at all. And I've learnt from it. I know I'm being looked after. Seeing we've got a God of our own understanding. And I think that's fantastic. You know, having your own God as long as it's not you. You know, I used AA to start with. I used that as my power, higher power. Because you were more powerful than I was. You were showing me, you know, the power of Alcoholics Anonymous by not taking that I wasn't taking a drink of it on a daily basis because, you know, I was trying to practice what you were showing me. So that was stronger than me. AA was stronger than me, and I have the great outdoors because I feel the beauty, not see now. I feel the beauty when I'm out in the countryside. The peace, the quiet, the birds singing, the shape of the trees. This is going to sound crazy, but there are no two trees the same. You know, I look at them and I see them. I feel it. That feeling that gets inside there. You know, because I take some of me sponsees I take to the river. There's an area, it's very pretty and unique, and I take them there and I say to them, what do you think here? And they tell me what they see, and I say to them, one day you will feel what you see, and that's what's my higher power, you know, is the beauty of what life is, the beauty of life.
Yeah, you mentioned God incidents or coincidence, and I'll just share a bunch of them that came together for me, and it was the saving of my life. Actually, I was stabbed in London in the pub that I was running, and I won't drag it out too much now, but I was stabbed and a severed artery, so the blood was pumping out of me. And the first copper on the scene, he had just finished his first aid courses. So he knew how to get, it was in my upper thigh. So he knew that the blood had to be stopped anyway, just stop the blood. And he made a fist in his knuckles and he stuck it into the wound and twisted it in. It was like a screwdriver. And another fellow there, a staff member, had just joined us, and he was a medical student. So he knew what position my head should be to my heart and to the leg and to the blood and all of that. The hospital was only 5 minutes away, Whipps Cross Hospital. The senior arterial surgeon that night was on duty because there was a big car crash somewhere. So he could attend to me as well. And the next thing was that they asked me to sign something, which was my wife actually signed it, that my leg might have to be amputated just to get at the artery to stop it bleeding. and my wife signed it anyway. And whatever he did, during the operation, which I didn't know anything about, I was out, but I do believe I had an out-of-body experience. And because I was somewhere else, but I was looking over at these people around me in the surgery. And I couldn't believe all these things that were coming back to me as I began to come back to life after the anesthetic and all that. And the coincidences that happened, and lots before that, and lots after that. That's how I escaped from the drudgery of alcohol and getting into trouble and getting into fights and getting into all sorts of things, and getting away with it all, and then arriving at today. And here I am, and I'm still going. And sometimes I can't believe it. That I got away with so much. My wife often says to me, "I don't know why you're still alive." That's if she wants me dead at any time. So it's unbelievable what AA has done for me and my family and everyone. And it's unbelievable, Mick, for me to hear you, an old timer, because when I came in, I took notice of the old timers. I knew they had something. And how did I know they had something? Because I was an alcoholic like them. And this thing was set up for people like us, all of us. And one thing I do say to people is that we were all newcomers once. No matter where you are, you're always a newcomer. And everybody is a newcomer. So thanks, Mick.
Thanks. See, I identify with any alcoholic because they say, my name is, and I am an alcoholic, first identification. And I've never been to a bad one. Bad meeting, never. I've disagreed with it and things like that, but not a bad one, because that's just my view. And I have not a view,
Well, Nick, is there any more questions out there, folks?
I have a question. 50 years is definitely something to be proud of. But in your 50 years, is there something that you're most proud of in your sobriety?
Being sober. That's the proudest thing I am. Sylvie said to me one day, Mick, when I was sober, just got sober, shall we sell up and move? And I said to her, they saw me drunk here, let them see me sober. And that's the most important thing. Kathleen, you will have a life beyond your wildest dreams in this fellowship. You'll be able to look back and think, crikey, I lived like that, and look now, look how I feel today. My grandchildren was at the last Wednesday on this show I done, and and they keep asking me questions and that about it. See, I'm not ashamed of who I am, what I am today, because I'm here to try and help anybody. Whether it works for them or not, that's up to them. But, I ain't supposed to be alive today, but I'm here. I'm here today. Power the man upstairs. Because the surgeon, when I had to go back to the surgeon, he said to me, you look remarkable, Mick. I never thought I'd ever see you again. Can you tell me what you put it down to? And I said, Alcoholics Anonymous guides me, and I don't drink. I said, and I was doing 21,000 steps a day then. I said, and he said, how would you do 21,000 steps? I said, because I walk my dog 4 times a day. And he turned round and he said, if that dog dies, get another one straight away, because it works. But I'm proudest that I'm sober today. And it was only another member said, let's see if we can do 50 years, Mick. And I don't know where he is, whether he's alive or not. He's 1 year longer than I am in the fellowship. And I'm praying that he's still alive and he's done his 50. And that's all it was. But it's a journey, not a destination. Because just before I was 50, I was worrying, oh Christ, what am I going to do after I'm 50? And what I've done, I've added another 10 years on it, and it's just for today.
Yeah, that answers it.
Yeah, I can vouch for the fact that he wasn't supposed to live, because I paid £6 for a shirt for the funeral.
Somebody mute Mossy. Can somebody mute Mossy? Somebody just mute Mick. I'll mute him.
Yeah, yeah, that's good.
Nadia,
I'm still looking. Hold on,
No.
Kathleen. Hold on.
I didn't do it.
Hold on, Kathleen. Eileen G is next up. If you watch what's happening around the screen, love, Eileen G is next.
Her hand went down, that's all.
There you go, love.
Eileen, you're unmuted.
Thank you. Thank you. My name is Eileen. I am an alcoholic and I am powerless. And oh God, this is wonderful, amazing.
You ain't sitting where I'm sitting.
But 50, magical, magical. And, you know, all this coincidence, talk of coincidence, no way. Is it odd or is it God? I always say. Look, one question I love your journey. I love your sobriety. But one thing that resonates with me, particularly at the moment, this is my second Christmas flying solo, as you know, because I lost, like you, I lost the love of my life. And I love when you speak about Sylvie. And the one thing that strikes me above anything else is the reference you make that you found love together and you found a soulmate. Mick, at what point in your recovery did that magic factor in?
Well, it was Sylvie that said it. She said to me, do you know, Mick, it worries me. She says, I seem to know what you're going to say and do. She said, we must be soulmates now. And I looked at her and I said, yeah, I suppose you do. Because you seem to have an answer for everything I tell you.
Thank you. God bless. Thank you.
That's all right.
You with us, Kathleen?
Oh, my screen is frozen.
No, dear. You can unmute my Mossy, can't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks everybody for the meeting. My name is Nadia and I'm an alcoholic. Mick, congratulations. Oh my God, what an achievement, 50 years. It's really, it really gives me tears of joy in my eyes to know that there were already people in the rooms waiting before I was even born, because next year I will be 50, so that's why I can say it. And yeah, thank you very much for, yeah, I have no words, you know. God bless, and I hope you are long with us, you know, and you are an example, and yeah, you give really the message of hope. My question is, what was your favorite service position at the meeting?
My favourite? I don't know. I don't know. I know what my worst one was, making the tea, because I've only ever made tea one session, and they couldn't drink it. They didn't like it, and I counted the tea bags as I emptied the kettle, not the kettle, the big teapot, and I counted tea bags, put in there, and I put boiling water in, and I only done one session. I don't mean one day. I mean one section, about 3 months, and no group has ever asked me to make the tea since.
Oh, sorry. Okay, it's a good one.
When I was a secretary, it made me go to more meetings to get the chairs, and I would listen to the chair, and I thought, if are they good enough for my meeting? And if I thought they weren't, I never asked them. But I enjoy service. I would say any service in AA I enjoy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, thank you. And I had another question. Oh my God. Oh, I don't think. Oh, yeah. Yeah, when you started at the meetings 50 years ago, were there also a lot of women in the Alcoholics Anonymous meetings?
No, there wasn't so many women. We've got they've come in later. See, there was only two of us in Henley. Eve was one. That was my first sponsor, and me in Henley. And but now we've got groups with quite a few women. There wasn't many women, but I don't know why. I don't know why there wasn't, but there wasn't as many as there is now.
Okay. Yeah, I think maybe because the shame is less, or the stigma from women, maybe. And yeah, I think so. That's now because we have a home group in Breda, and 7 years ago there were, I think, 3-4 ladies, and now we are with more ladies than men. So it's going the right way. So, but thank you and congratulations, and God bless.
Thank you, Nadia. I'll tell you a funny thing. When I was doing this chair Wednesday, my sobriety date chair, and they said at the end of the meeting, they said, we want some people to wash up, and I shouted out, we got women here, they'll do it, and I thought I was going to get lynched.
There you go, Bruce.
Thanks.
There you go, Bruce.
Thank you, Mick, and congratulations on your 50 years. My name is Bruce. I am an alcoholic. Just wondering, in all your 50 years, and say, not including Mossy, what has been your next greatest challenge to your patience and tolerance in your 50 years of sobriety, if there has been anything else? What would your defining moment, the toughest, was there a toughest time in your sobriety where you struggled with patience and tolerance, or was it all plain sailing from the day you put down that last?
No, it's not plain sailing. I've been up and down and angry and that. I was just trying to think. Working in a brewery, when they said, you've got to keep out of dry, wet places, I said to my sponsor, what about me? How do I go on? I said, because I work in a brewery. And he said, well, we talked about it a bit. And then he said, the only difference between me and you is that you could get a drink quicker. But I wasn't always as calm as I am today, because a few years ago, my daughter got smashed up by a car. A driver hit her on her bike. And if I'd got hold of him, I might have hurt him a bit. It's only through time that I become more tolerant of people, places, and things, and practicing this program through time. I can't, many times I used to want to shout at Sylvie, and I thought, no, because all it'd do is upset me as well. Things like that.
Thank you, Nick. So there's been no greater challenge than Mossy then. That's
no.
Thank you very much, Mick.
Yeah.
Thanks for the vote of confidence there, Bruce. I'll mark that one down for the next time you come down for counselling to me.
I wish I could have filmed. I wished I could have filmed him when he was here a little while ago.
Oh dear. We still upset a few meetings when we go out there, Mick, anyway, don't we?
Yeah, they know it's.
Yeah.
Some people don't know how to take us, but that's life, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because a lot of the people know it's all in fun, but some think it's serious.
I am serious, Nick.
I bought a new knife sharpener. Watch out.
Yeah. So that's it, folks. That's all the questions, unless anybody has anything else to ask. And if not, we wrap it up.
Val's not spoke, has she? And who else then? Oh, there's a lot.
I'm Val and I'm an alcoholic. And thank you for the meeting. Yeah, congratulations, Mick. And thank you. I've met you a couple of times, more than a couple of times. When I went to the live meeting, you came over. And yeah, and the questions have been answered. I think for me, I was always told to sort of stick with the winners. And I used to think, well, what the heck does that plumbing mean and that? But as time has gone by, if I'm where I'm at and there's nobody that is, and it's only a day at a time, but if there's nobody that's older than me, that's been around slightly longer than me, a day or two, I don't know where I'd get my inspiration from, actually. I mean, I look to the fact that other people are staying. I mean, I've committed to this and I've stayed up until this point, but I need that ongoing reassurance that this is the right thing that I'm doing. And look, there are these other people, because a couple of people around this area, not many that are 50 years, you would know them. There's a guy at Buckingham, and I don't know any ladies though, you see. And so I still try and do what I was told originally. What I did originally when I came in was I copied, what the older ladies were doing to try and get this calm demeanor about myself, because I wasn't calm. And, you just said about this. When I look at people that are 50 years sober, I always think there's that degree of humility, that sense of peace. There is that acceptance, which I don't always find easy, of course, because that's just where I am on this journey. But I know it's possible because I see people like you that have things that I want. There's that attraction still there, and that's what I want. The attraction. What is the attraction in AA? No matter whether you've done a day, a week, or a month, or a year, it doesn't matter. It's the attraction of, well, you're still doing it, you're still learning, you connect with nature like I do. And I know what my mum would say. Well, that guy's stable, Val, because my mum always said I was unstable. So emotional stability is possibly what I still attain for, because I know I can still be all these other things. And that's what I look at when I look at you and think, what a guy. Over the years that I've seen you, and that's something worth staying in the fellowship for. And I thank you for that. You people that look how you are. Well, I would be dead, and probably an awful lot of us would be if we weren't at these meetings. And so that is the attraction. That's what inspires me to keep going with this, because I don't want to be a drunk. I do not want to be a drunk at all, but I know I've got so much more to learn. So I try and draw off of people like you, your experiences and that. So thank you, Mick.
Thank you. I'm still trying to think about challenges. You put something in my head now, and I'm just thinking, and I think life was a challenge. Changing your life. I was expecting it all at once, kind of. And if it had come all at once, I wouldn't have been able to manage it. I'm sure I couldn't have. And that's why it takes time. I think life is the biggest challenge.
There you go.
And acceptance is, when I came in, I admitted acceptance is a completely different word, meaning acceptance is it. Once we accept we are alcoholic and can never take a drink, and what I've give up to what I've got today, crikey. I just think I'm a very lucky person. All the right people have always been there. Learning to listen. I think that's a challenge. That's a challenge. Learning to listen. Listen to learn.
That's what McConnell used to say. One of the O'Connors from Salt Hill, learn to listen to learn.
Yeah.
Always said it. That's it, Nick.
Challenge. My biggest challenge is Mossy. Fancy throwing me in the deep like this. Supposed to be a mate.
Somebody asked me how I'd stay sober so long. I said, there's so many people have to pray for me.
Yeah. That's what's so wonderful about meetings, isn't it? You meet so many people and with so many different life way of life, and that you learn so much. You learn so much in AA. It's not about drinking. It's about life.
Yeah. Stay sober through it all. So, Mick, I thank you for your friendship.
I thank you for yours as well, Mossy.
I thank you for
You've got the best
falling
part
under the
of it,
bus so
though.
gracefully.
You got the best. You got the best part of the friendship. I just got you.
Yeah. So we'll wrap it up with that, Kathleen.
Closing. We've come to the end of the meeting and Jane S. is going to read the promises. You're muted, Jane.
Lovely meeting, everybody. Thank you and happy birthday, Mick. These are the promises. If we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we are halfway through. We're going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and of economic insecurity will leave us. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. We will suddenly realise that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises? We think not. They are being fulfilled amongst us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialise if we work for them. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Jane, for doing the promises, Bob for doing the preamble, Kathleen and Bruce for co-hosting. I suppose a bit thank you for doing the falling under the bus, Nick. And,
I didn't fall under the bus. You pushed me under it.
I owe you that for trying to scalp me. And that's it, guys. So, Kathleen?
Reminder that all of our meetings are on 7 days a week. at 8:30 a.m. UK time. We also have a lunchtime meeting every Sunday at 1 p.m. UK time. This is a Step 11 meditation meeting.
And Saturday, we have our old timers meeting, an extended share recorded for our archives. On Thursday evenings, we have a meeting at 7:30 p.m. UK time. We use the same meeting code for all our meetings.
Stick around for fellowship after the meeting. If you would like to use a breakout room, please let one of the hosts know.
And the yellow card, who you see here?
What you hear here,
when you leave here,
please let it stay here.
And Mick the Ferret, 50 years sober. Can you lead us out with the serenity prayer?
Thank you, everyone, for being here and keeping me sober today. I don't know whether I said I was an alcoholic or not when we started. Anyway, it doesn't matter now. It's at the end, didn't we?
Yeah.
Would you like to join me in serenity prayer using the word God as each and everyone understands it? God, grant her
The
serenity
Accept the things we cannot change.
things I cannot change.
And the wisdom to know
the difference. Thank you, Mick.
Thank you, Mick.
Mossy.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Kathleen.